Welcome to everyone. This week video will cover the Dow Jones Industrial Average for the week of February 26, 2024. If you like this video, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to make sure you don't miss any future videos. Before we start, make sure you read carefully the disclaimer. Let's start with the long-term chart. The October 2023 low is the 18-month cycle low. On the last Dow Jones Industrial Average update, I mentioned the market triggered a downside signal by crossing his cycle line in October 2013. Actually, this signal was invalid because the market crossed below the cycle line, but not the median price, the yellow line. To be a valid signal, it's the median price line have to cross the cycle line. I explained this in details in my series of videos on understanding market cycles. If you are interested, I posted the link below in the description. In the zoom chart, we can see the median price line crossed slightly below. This crossing was not confirmed at the next bar and crossed back above the cycle line, confirming this low was at the 18-month cycle low. This is a very important point to remember. No matter the time frame, we need a clean and sharp crossing and a confirmation the next bar. We will SE on a lower time frame. Sometime we need 2 or 3 bars depending how the crossing occur. The only valid signal on this time frame was the one occurred in March 2023 when the Dow Jones Industrial Average crossed above his cycle line, providing an upside target at 36,485. When bought at that time, and wait until the market reaches target in December 2023. The profit was 3,912 points or 12% in only 10 months. In the meantime, we can still trading the shorter cycles in the different time frame to increase our profits. The success rate for this cycle is 100%. What's next? Since the October 2023 low, the market is in up phase until the peak will form. We can expect the peak forming between May and August 2024. The low can be expected between October and December 2024. We will have more precise time window when we'll analyze the shorter cycles. Like I explain in my series of videos, cycles are like a puzzle. The short-term cycles form the longer cycles. When the lower time frame cycles run shorter than the nominal model, then the low will occur early. If they run longer, the low will form later. The 40-week cycle. The 40-week cycle started on October 2023. We are in the up phase of the cycle. Technically, the peak should occur around now, at the peak of the cycle, the red dashed line. But since the market is very bullish, there is a high probability the peak will occur on the right side of the cycle. We call that right time translation, which is usually bullish. The 40-week cycle low is expected around June, July 2024. The 20-week cycle. In this cycle, we are a very interesting situation. On the main analysis, the low for this cycle should occur on March 14th. But last week low, and the sharp move up on Thursday 22, could be the 20-week cycle low? If we calculate the number of weeks, since the last 20-week cycle low is 17 weeks, which about 2 weeks early than expected. Since the market's still very bullish, there is the possibility the 38,039 February 13th was the 20 weeks low. To know if the 20-week cycle low is ahead of us or behind, we have to keep an eye on the 80-day cycle chart. If the Dow Jones Industrial Average crossed below the uptrend line, the purple line or the cycle line in the next 2 weeks, then we will know the low is still to come. The 20-day cycles will help us too. We will see later on in this video. The success rate for the 20-week cycle is 90%. Let's move down to the lower time frame, the 80-day cycle, to see if we can fix the issue where to place the 20-week cycle. On February 21st, the market crossed for 1 day below the uptrend line. But the crossing was not clear enough to place the 80-day cycle low on February 13th. The last 80 days low was on January 18th. From January 18th to February 13th, 26 days elapse. 26 days for a 80-day cycle is in my mind too short, the average length for a 80-day cycle is usually 68 days. So with confidence, we can expect the Dow Jones Industrial Average, forming a low in March as expected. Cycles are very helpful. Most of the time, by going to the shorter cycles, help to resolve the long-term uncertainty. This doesn't mean the February 13th low cannot be the 80 days and 20 weeks cycle low, but the probability is very low. Here the cycle line support for this week, and their potential targets if the market cross below this week. The success rate for this cycle is 100%. The 40 days cycle. The last 40 days cycle was on February 13, the next one is expected on March 21st. Here again, by analyzing the length of a shorter cycle, we can solve some uncertainty. In this example, we cannot place the 80 days cycle on February 13th. By doing this, we will miss one 40-day cycle. Cycles don't disappear. Because they are dynamic, they sometimes shrink or extend, but never disappear. Here are the cycle lines for this week, and their potential downside targets, if they cross their support lines this week. The success rate is 86%. The peak for this 40-day cycle is expected around this week, the red dashed line. But there is the possibility it's occur next week since the market's still bullish. What's next? After forming his peak, the Dow Jones Industrial Average should cross below his cycle line, providing a downside target for this last 40-day cycle of the 20-week cycle. The 20-day cycle. The success rate for the 20-day cycle is 90%. The last 20 days cycle low was on February 13th. The length for the last 20 days cycle was 15 days. If this 20-day cycle is about the same length than the last ones, then we can expect the low forming on the February 28th. Technically, the Dow Jones Industrial Average should cross below his cycle line, providing a downside target. Here the cycle line for this week and their potential target. The 10 days cycle. On the February 20th, the Dow Jones Industrial Average crossed above his cycle line at 38,655, giving a potential target at 39,270. On Friday, February 23rd, the Dow Jones Industrial Average made a new all-time high at 39,282.28, meeting the target. Trading this signal, we have a profit of 615 points or 1.6% in only 3 days. The success rate for the 10-day cycle is 100%. In conclusion, the overall market is still bullish. We expect the 20-week cycle low for the mid to third week of March. A correction is expected very soon. But we have to keep in mind, even if the probability is very low, the possibility of the 20-week cycle formed on February 13th. In this case, we can expect the market continue his rally. This is the end of this week's video. Thank you for following me. Next week, I will publish another market update.